at it then. One relegation spot, you'd have to say, I guess, if we're assuming that sadly Burnley and Wolves are gone. Does it go that far for you, or is that it for you? 4 teams and Leeds,
Crystal Palace. Listen, Crystal Palace are not. I wouldn't count them out of it. Yeah, I agree. Bottom 2 have gone. West Ham's very interesting, like we've already spoken about. I do feel like they're going to get themselves out of it. Tottenham Hotspur at the minute, I can't. You can't fathom it, but it is a reality now for them that they are probably between them and I fancy West Ham to get more points than Tottenham Hotspurs at the minute. So they are in a really dangerous position. I think Leeds will probably be okay. I think it'll be out of Spurs and Forest, which sounds bizarre even as I'm saying it for Tottenham Hotspurs, but I think that West Ham probably be okay just because of the form they're in, and they've hit a good patch at the right time. Tottenham, I don't know what to say about it. Playing against Arsenal the other day, okay, I can give you that one maybe, but there's been so many bad games, bad performances from them. I don't know where listen, I know they've had loads of injuries, but I don't know how they turn it around. Just similar to what we were saying about West Ham earlier in the season. I don't know where Tottenham go from this, and how devastating that would be to such a massive football club to be relegated. We have seen it before with Newcastle, Aston Villa, West Ham at times where you feel like they're such a big, but they are a massive club, so that would be devastating for them.
And what did you make of Tudor after the game against Arsenal? He came out with some things that you've heard previous Spurs managers say, and it's taken him a week to come to those conclusions. Or the other side is he might just be parroting what other Spurs managers have said around things not being right within the club and what am I supposed to achieve with this group of players. Does that worry you if you're a player?
Yeah.
The guy's been in a week?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's probably gone in there straight away and thought, what's happening? And I don't know what it is. I'm not in the building, but there's something going on at Tottenham that's not right, and it hasn't been right for a long time. They go through so many managers. We're talking about good players, where if you put them in another team, they'd probably perform really well, but collectively they're just not performing. And this guy's been in there and he's probably got in the building and thought whatever it is, I don't know what it is. It could be a number of things that's wrong in there. And the obvious one would be that the players, which is the most important thing, are low on confidence and they're not performing. So that's the main thing, regardless of whatever's happening above the playing squad. Those players need to drag themselves out of that situation, and the managers come in, and obviously he's not really impressed with what he's seen, but this is why they've brought him in. To whatever's going on, he's got to change that somehow. He's got to do it quickly.
How do you feel as a player, though? Because he came out and said good players with bad habits. Do you agree with that? Is that what you're witnessing? Seeing Spurs players that are good players, they've just gotten into bad habits? Yeah,
I think it's much more than bad habits. It's just bad performances all round. So they are good players. Some of these players, we would have them down as playing some of the best players in the world in their positions if you look at it. But they collectively, they just have got no. It doesn't seem. When I'm analysing the game and trying to think about what Tottenham are trying to do, especially attacking, and defence, both sides of the pitch. I just don't know what the aim of what they're trying to do is. There's no clear way, that structure of playing, and it doesn't even look like they're playing off the cuff, and that's working either. So, good players, yeah. I'm sure they've had loads of meetings where the older players have got together and said, "Come on, boys, we need to pull this together," and that's not worked. Change the manager, that's not worked. So, where do you go from that? The only consolation is that they've had loads of injuries, and I don't think they're coming back anytime soon. Anyway, they're better players, so they are in a real tough spot, and West Ham aren't. So, I can see the only interesting one is Nottingham Forest in between them, where I'm not sure where they're at either. If I'm being deadly honest, I think they have an easier run of fixtures than West Ham, in the next few weeks. So. We'll see, but that's as interesting as the top of the table at the minute.
Certainly.
Shall we have a look at what points you might need, or how many points you might need in order to stay up?
Yeah.
So we've got the survival points here since 1995-96, and the red line is the 5-year average. You've got years going along the horizontal, and the points total here. Now, the lines are looking like you need at least 36 points in order to stay in the Premier League. And Opta, our friends, think that the points tally this season is going to be between 36 and 37 to stay up this season. So Spurs are on 29. That means a couple of wins and a draw, and they'll probably just about sneak survival. But it's about where those results are coming from.
Well, let's take a look. I think we've got their next 6 games as well. I mean, do you see, Ashley, some points cropping up for Spurs against Fulham, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Forest, Sunderland and Brighton?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain games in there. Crystal Palace at home, possibly. Nottingham Forest is a massive game. Sunderland are not doing great at the minute, but that's away. But then the beauty of the Premier League is any of those teams there, they could go and get a win against, and that's why we love the Premier League, because you can't call it, you never know. But if you was looking at that, I think that's a really difficult game. Fulham at Fulham, at home they don't see. Normally you would say, okay, no, we can give up a couple of the away games, but let's look after things at home. They can't do that. Tottenham either. They're not good at home. So no, there is games in there, winnable games. If you're saying maybe they need two wins or whatever, they would surely. If I was a player in there, I'd be saying, if we can't achieve that against those teams, we deserve to go down, in all honesty.
You always need a little bit of luck, don't you, in terms of playing as well. Was luck against them at the weekend? Did you feel, they were hard done by? There was a foul, wasn't there, I think, from Gabriel on Kolo Muani. I think we're going to see it now. Where did you stand on this?
For me, it's never, ever been a foul, this, for me. I can't... Gabriel's taken such a chance on what could quite easily be considered a dive, to be honest. I know there's a bit of contact, I can see the hands, but it's not enough for me for you to go over. So in these crucial situations in a game like this, they really needed that goal, and on another day that doesn't get given, and it's a goal. He's made the most out of the contact.
It's quite the jump, isn't it?
We've seen that and called it a dive many a time. If that's anywhere else on the pitch, it's a different situation, and it's actually quite shocking that that's your centre half doing that. I mean, it ends up being a really clever play from him, but it could have gone on to hurt them. And from Tottenham's point of view, they should feel hard done by in that situation. But did they do enough in the course of the whole 9 minutes? No, I don't think they did.
And just finally, in terms of Igor Tudor coming in, he's a bit of a firefighter. We know what he's done before at previous teams. He's got them out of trouble. Yeah. Do you think he might be the man to do that, or do you think it might be all a little bit too late for that?
I just don't know how he does it. That's right. The thing. If sometimes you get these managers, and we've seen them before, that come in and save teams and keep doing that and get a name for themselves just to be, a firefighter and save a team. But I'm not sure where. And listen, if you was going to walk into if he's a manager, you want to walk into any of those teams, it would be that one with the personnel they've got. But there's clearly an issue in there, and I just don't know how he turns that around and gets confidence from that team. He's going to have to quickly get a bond with them. He's going to have to trust the players, and he's going to have to earn the players' trust. And I'm not sure, how he does that. But if he's done it before, and that's what he does, then maybe he can. But he's got one hell of a job on his hands at the minute. I know.
I'm going to open up a whole new debate here, but we talk about managers wanting to go into a team. I actually think the Forest first 11, pound for pound, is better than the Spurs 11. So if you're talking about wanting to go in, I think Vitor Pereira's landed on his feet there. He's just got to try and get some results.
Pound for pound, do you think they're a better team? First 11. Okay, we're going to discuss that in the break because we haven't got time to discuss that right now. But anyway, it's a good chat.